What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Sixers Postgame Live. It's been a minute. Sixers fall to the Memphis Grizzlies in their first Summer League action, 94-92. We're breaking down top takeaways, stars of the game, much more, what it all means moving forward. Joining me, the man, the myth, the legend for the first time in a long time, he is Tiago at Tiago PHL. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Chris? It's good to be back to watch some Summer League Sixers, a team that oozes athleticism. And for many of us who've watched the Sixers over the last couple of years in the regular season, this is a fresh watch for sure because athleticism matters a little bit, man. And this team has a bunch of it on display.
Yeah. There's definitely some highs that we're going to break it all down. Some lows as well. Joining me also of Hardcore Sports Network, he is Mitch Kofsky at Mitch Kofsky. What's going on, Mitch?
What is up, guys? I have too many questions about how we closed out, but other than that, it was good despite all the Sixers rumors going on. So
yeah. Quinn says, I hope the Eagles are still good this year. Oh, my God. Yeah, wins and losses do not mean anything here. We have to – let me throw the score up there. We have to lead off with TERQUAVION Smith, who I thought was the definite star of this game. From step back jumpers, the shot was wet, man. He ended the game here with 18 points, 4 of 10 from three-point range. Again, the Sixers are a team that has to shoot more threes, more volume coming up this season. And I love his confidence. I loved his fearlessness to pull up from anywhere. We even saw in the second half facilitating the pick and roll. I know he had a high usage rate in college. I don't know. I didn't know how that was going to kind of translate here with the Summer Sixers here. But I thought TERQUAVION Smith was by far the highlight of Game 1 of the Summer League. I'll throw it to you, Tiago. What was your take on TERQUAVION?
He was the best player on the court in a court full of NBA players, right? So David Roddy, Jake LaRavia, he was the standout, in my opinion, of the game. I thought that you kind of mentioned, Chris, Nick Nurse basically gave him the ball in the second half, right? So he had Jaden Springer running some point guard in the first half that had wild mixed results. Nurse saw what we all saw was, hey, put the ball in this kid's hands because he oozes potential, man. I mean, I know the 160-pound frame is something that it is going to get in the way. When you talk about high-level shot maker, there's traits there of a guy who can leverage screens, come off screens, and rise with very much confidence. He showed that 4-point range. I mean, tie game with 3 minutes left, hit a long distance NBA 3 without any hesitation. I thought that him operating the pick and roll was something that I was very impressed. I mean, he's got to work on the passing. There are a couple passes that just didn't connect with Petrusev and didn't look particularly good. But I just thought that he had great feel. Like, he was looking for guys on the roll. He made a couple great reads, one off the bounce. He made one swing pass out to the corner. Oh, man, he is a guy who I'm going to be watching very closely because when you talk about NBA level potential, he's the one guy that stood out for me right away. So.
Yeah, a guy that has clear instant offense, like NBA role in at the next level. Definitely saw that. Like, there was a lot of Bones Highland comparisons. Yep. And it definitely translated. I mean, again, only 2 turnovers in 27 minutes tonight. His turnover percentage in college was really low. That's a takeaway. That's a takeaway that definitely could translate in a Nick Nurse system, getting early minutes, and his potential as a floor spacer is there, man. The guy shot 39% in the catch and shoot in college, 9 of 20 from 3 in the corners in 2023. He is a floor spacer through and through, man. That's what you need to see. Guys that are fearless from 3, man. Mitch, what was your take?
He was 4 from 12 from 3. It didn't feel like it at all. Yeah. Honestly, each time he shot the ball for me, it felt like it was going in. So what did we miss? Like, what did I miss? Like, a couple of shots here and there, but hey, he came up, he performed exactly what we needed. I'm gonna keep an eye on him as well. I'm gonna watch some more highlights to get used to him and everything. So I like the TERQUAVION Smith. Looks fun.
Yeah, man. Obviously, the frame is a concern. Obviously, the defense is going to be a concern. But that's not what you're looking for in year one. You're looking for a guy that can come in, space the floor for the Sixers' main stars, a guy that can really do well. And that's very clear that is his role, right, Tiago?
Yeah, even defensively, he's going to struggle his power, right? Because guys are going to be 220, 230 pounds coming at him. But I saw him shuffle his feet laterally. I saw him take away driving lanes on switches. I mean, those are traits that translate defensively. Now, granted, we talk about the frame as being an issue, but you see competitiveness there that I think with Nick Nurse's potential tutelage, I mean, you can clearly tell this is a Nick Nurse type player, right? A low pedigree point guard who the Sixers get, late in the second round undrafted free agent. And you can already see that Nurse likes this guy because it put the ball in his hands and let him do a lot tonight. So I'm excited because I think that's exactly what the Sixers need to start putting out in their player development system. Players exactly like this. So it's exciting.
All right. Is it a hot take to say he looked better facilitating the pick and roll than Jaden Springer?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly.
Let's get into it because Jaden Springer had some really impressive defensive plays in the first half. Weak side rim protection. He had 2 blocks. His vertical. There was one play where he grabbed the board over a wing. He might have jumped over somebody. I don't know. It happened really fast, but his athleticism, especially on the defensive end, is just so impressive. Like, he's going to step on an NBA court and be an impact guy on the defensive end. How many times have we said that before as Sixers fans? The defense and the offense just aren't meshing. He looked a step or 2, maybe 3 behind when it comes to facilitating. Jaden Springer had 11 points on 11 shots and 5 of 6 from the line. 4 personal fouls, 1 turnover, but really struggled getting his shot, penetrating. I'll throw it to you, Mitch, first. Like, what did you see from Jaden Springer? And what's your take? What's the take?
For me, for Jaden Springer, obviously it's the defense. I mean, just the 2 blocks on the weak side. I'm telling you, that was great to see. His athleticism, we all knew he's very athletic, but it's just so refreshing to see that after what we see all year with the Sixers with like Niang, Harden, just not athletic. So that's a very nice thing for me to see. And him just attacking the rim. That's exactly. I love when they attack the rim in first game of Summer League. I love it. So no fear, just go and attack, have fun. So that's my take.
What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, he's athletic, but he's more bouncy than he is fast. In the open court, it definitely stands out, but when he's on the ball, that athleticism just doesn't seem to pop. He struggles to get around guys on the ball, turn the corner. And what that usually ends up happening is that he drives into traffic and just throws up some wildly contested off-balance floater. So, yeah, while the bounciness and, his ability to catch lobs and cut, that plays well. Just on the ball, you just don't see that same level of pop. So, yeah, I was looking to see what Springer could do under structure. So him running an offense, right? Not just getting scoring chances off structure, but actually, leveraging pick and roll screens, kind of like what Smith did through most of the game. And then it just doesn't really stand out, man. And then on top of that, so if you're not going to be able to create for others and create for yourself, can you then settle off the catch and be that floor spacer that the Sixers need? And same thing, man. Just shot just does not look anything reliable at the moment. So, yeah, you start wondering where his path is offensively because defensively, like you said, Chris, the tools are definitely there. So I just want to see the Summer League play out. But It's just some more of the same stuff we saw with him last year and the year before that.
Yep. Let's roll on to Louis King, a wing for the Sixers here. Didn't necessarily have the impact I was expecting. I mean, he was a 20 point plus scorer with the Blue Coats, just had 10 points tonight. You like to see the 10 boards. You like to see the 5 assists for sure. But he did have 4 turnovers. Didn't really get going until the second half. But Louis King is a guy that is a wing on a Sixers squad that doesn't have any. So there's a clear path. Like, he's the Jalen Carter. Like, there's a clear path for Louis King to actually, like, maybe make an impact here. Tiago, Louis King struggled with the shot, 4 of 11, 2 of 8 from 3-point range. Any takes?
He's got to find consistency, man, because I think this is a high IQ player. I mean, how many assists did he have, Chris? I can't see off on my
He had 5.
He had 5, yeah.
And a couple of those were high-level passing plays, high IQ plays, stuff that you don't have on the Sixers roster, right? You have a lot of low-end passers and guys who just have basically one skill. King can attack a closeout off the dribble, can pass, knows where to be on the court, didn't hesitate when he got open looks off the corner and off the top of the key. But that consistency has to come, man. And, you know, for a guy who is trying to find his role in the NBA, I mean, that's just the way it's going to end up for him. If he doesn't find that long-range consistency, it's not going to happen. So I'm hopeful that the Sixers continue to give him minutes because, like you said, the body, 6'7", long wingspan, made a couple great defensive plays. Is a presence on the glass, right? Something the Sixers lack from the wing. So you hope that something clicks on him, but I think up and down performance to start the preseason. But again, another guy who I would give him overall like a semi-positive grade, but didn't really stand out.
Yep. Any take, Mitch?
For me, it's basically what Tiago said. I mean, for me, the IQ is there, the assists are there, but it's just I need more. I need more out of him.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into another guy I was really excited to watch, and that is Ricky Council Jr. I mean, he looked interesting. I think the IQ was all on display. He's got a ways to go, but what I liked about him, I mean, unlike TERQUAVION Smith, I like that you saw the game kind of come to him instead of vice versa. He finished the game with 11 points, 6 boards, only 1 turnover on 4 of 8 shooting. He didn't hit a 3-pointer, but he got to the line 5 times. Just like a solid kind of game from Ricky Council Jr. What are your thoughts, Mitch? We kind of covered it on the watch party today. But, you know, he did have like a step back mid-range jumper. There were definitely some high moments for Ricky Council Jr.
Yeah, there's definitely higher moments. It's his first game, maybe a little nerves there, but I liked it. I liked what he showed. So a little bit for me, a little bit more for me than other than that.
Tiago.
This guy's gonna be Sixers fans' best friend and worst nightmare, man. Because this guy, if he's not in a dunk championship or a dunk contest by the end of his career, I think the NBA is missing out on something.
He had the highlight of the game.
Right. Has no fear for the rim, man. I mean, there could be like 5 guys in front of him. He's going to leap over 5 guys and try to get to the rim. So he's a lot of fun to watch, man. I think defensively, I loved what I saw from him. You can tell athleticism. He switched on small, quicker guards. Was a huge presence on the glass. Size was a big factor. Attacking closeouts, I thought his athleticism played out very well. So you can already see the defensive traits. Offensively, man, when the ball gets to you, you got to shoot the ball. And you can tell he's just not confident. I was reading that Nurse is trying to rework his shot a little bit. It was something that just wasn't really there in college. But a couple of times tonight, man, he had a wide open look and just hesitated, drove into traffic, and threw up some contested mid-range.
Yeah.
That's not going to work, man. So, yeah, I mean, on 208, this is exactly the kind of guy you want in the G League. I am not as high on his shot as some folks are, but you can see some high-level athleticism on display tonight. I love watching him.
Yeah, there's definitely like 3 in the upside if it clicks, but
Yeah.
he's going to be more of a guy to watch, I think, with the Blue Coats.
Yeah, you watch Smith, right? Smith, you can tell. I mean, he's a point guard, obviously, but you can tell that the tools are already like somewhat in place. With Council, you're like, wow, I gotta really reach for this guy. But I get why people are excited about him. He's a true level NBA talent.
Yeah, the athleticism is real. And once the game slows down for him, I think he's going to be really solid. Last but not least, let's talk about Philippe Petrusev. We got our first taste of him since last summer. He had 9 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, a block in 22 minutes, just 5 shots. And he did have led the team with 8 free throws. A lot of that was involved with that TERQUAVION Smith pick and roll that we saw in that second half. Definitely looked much more active at that. He clearly showed he was able to get good position. He clearly showed in that pick and roll that he could move his feet well. Thiago, what was your take on Philippe Petrusev? Just real quick impressions.
Yeah, I think you said the 8 free throws are a function of Smith and his ability to get guys looks. So another positive sign for Smith there. I mean, I just don't see how Petrusev can play center in the NBA. He struggled tremendously to anchor size against Lofton. I mean, he got bullied down low in a big fashion. And if he's not your center or a stretch 5, can he play the 4? I don't know. I mean, I thought that he moved well defensively. I thought he looked more agile than expected. You can clearly tell he's well coached. He gets in good positions defensively. So I think he has that going for him, but he's got to be able to stretch the 4 a little bit, man. And I just didn't see that. I mean, he had one look from deep. That shot looked pretty flat, to be honest with you. But again, I don't particularly have high expectations from him. I think, I would be surprised, frankly, if he finds an NBA role. But as a starting point, you can just tell that center is going to be an issue for him. It's going to be an issue for him. But again, he attacked the glass. I thought he was ferocious attacking the board. So I didn't feel like the Sixers were getting pounded on the glass when he was in there. So I think it's a testament to his competitive spirit and his ability to grab rebounds. But yeah, I don't think there's a path for him there, but we'll see.
Mitch?
For me, what stood out was obviously the role. It looked beautiful. There. But for me, it's this hustle, right? Because with the team we got now in the Sixers, you don't see a lot of hustle. You don't see a lot of heart. So if he keeps on doing that throughout the summer league, I should be okay with it. But I agree with Thiago. He's not going to be good as a 5. No, maybe it's just
we talked about this during the watch party. Like, we were unsure about what role he's going to fulfill in the NBA. He can't be a 4. He can't be a 5 because his rim protection is not good enough. It's really his bread and butter has to be rolling to the basket. We'll see.
And he showed the ability to finish through contact. There was one play where off the roll, where 2 guys there, he finished through it and put it in. So, yeah, there's interesting traits there. But like you said, Chris, what is his position, right? Those guys generally don't tend to stick when you're unsure about what the actual role is in the NBA.
Yeah. All right. So does anybody else have any other takes before we get into the player of the game?
Do I have any other takes? I have a lot of takes, but they're not summer league related. They're more Sixers.
All right.
I got a lot of takes about this roster. I would say this. Just one more thing. I'm going through my notes. There's a guy called, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name, Hung Lee. Don't even try me to pronounce his name. He looked really bad tonight. I mean, he's coming off a foot injury. Didn't look confident. Just didn't look like he was in rhythm at all. But he's a guy that came out of Davis and had high-level shooting pedigree out of Davis. And he was a guy, a lot of people were talking about a first-round pick, and he hurt his foot in a workout in the NBA. So I was happy to see the Sixers put him on their summer league team. Now, granted, he's got a long way to go between what we saw today and a potential NBA role. But if you're looking at NBA projection, right, and skills that project into the NBA level, I would say he's got probably the best skill set that translates into the NBA, and that's his shot. 6'7", scores in a variety of different ways, off screens, pin downs, spot up. So I'm hoping that his confidence comes around, because I think if this guy shows what he showed in college, he's going to stick on an NBA team, and I hope that's the Sixers.
Love it. We also didn't get any minutes from Azuolas Tubelis, another guy that I know Tiago's really high on. So we'll see if he gets minutes on Wednesday. I believe that start time is at 9 o'clock. Azuolas Tubelis is another undrafted free agent. A wing that can run the floor a little bit, pass the ball a little bit, transition kind of guy. But let's roll on to player of the game. Throw it to you, Mitch. Who's your guy?
I've been praising Jaden Springer's defense throughout this whole night, his athleticism, but I got to go with TreQuan Smith here. I got to. I mean, just the whole game was just perfect. He was the number one guy, and that's a guy Nick Nurse loves, so it's good for me.
All right. TreQuavion Smith is off the board.
Oh, wait. I thought we all pick one.
No, we all do someone different. I always go last.
Oh, shoot. Okay. That's different. I like it.
Yeah, I'll give it to Ricky Council. I thought that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a long journey to the NBA, but I thought that for one night, and you can tell Nurse wants to see what he has, because he played for the entire first quarter and then played a little bit of second quarter to start and had consistent playing minutes throughout. So I can clearly tell Nurse wants to see what this guy has. Crumble cookies. Yeah. I guess he's going to stay for another year, Quentin. So, one more year of Tobias, guys. Let's roll.
Yeah. Trade deadline.
Trade deadline? Okay.
I think he'll be gone by the trade deadline.
So we got to do 2 more months of this, 3 more months of this.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to make this Summer League pod. Ricky Council, player of the game.
Crumble cookies. Is it a violation to say Nick Nurse?
Yeah, it's not. And I'll tell you, man.
Let me just say, there was a lot of zone defense.
Yeah.
They were pressuring the ball. They were pushing the ball. They looked athletic. Those are all things I want to see from the Sixers in 2024. The fact that he's freaking down there coaching these guys, yes. I'm going to give it to Nick Nurse for game 1. Any takes on that?
That's such a great point, man. Like, that's a coach who's engaged. He's engaged on developing players, right? What is Talk Rivers doing in Summer League? He's doing podcast tours. He's in a book tour. He's writing novels. I don't know what the hell he's doing in Summer League. That's a coach who's clearly engaged, man.
He's done.
I'm just keeping it real. And you see it on the court, man. I mean, this team is moving. They're getting the early sets. Is out of commission. I mean, let's keep it real, man. The guy could care less about the youth of this team for 3 years. And this coach comes in one practice, one Summer League game. You can already see a team that's engaged and guys who are playing the style of play that he wants to play. I mean, that's what coaching is about, man. I'm sorry. That's just the way that at least I view coaching. So, yeah, zone, cutting, early offense, all that stuff is on full display tonight, man. I was fresh to see.
There was one pass where Philippe Petrusev found a cutter going to the basket. When's the last time you saw that from a Sixers offense? It was beautiful.
Did they go ISO at all tonight? I didn't.
Oh yeah,
they did ISO like what, handful?
There was a lot of pick and roll. A lot of pick and roll. That
was the theme. Pick and roll was the theme of this night, this game.
But down screens, pin downs, all that stuff was on display, man. I mean, I'm excited at least to see. I'm not excited for the Sixers roster going into the season, but I'm excited to see what Nurse is going to install as offensive principles on this team. Because you can already see there's a vast difference between what we saw with Rivers and Nurse.
Yep. All right. That wraps it up. I'll throw it to you, Mitch. Final thoughts Game 1 against the Grizzlies, and then Plugs, time is yours.
All right. But first, did you guys know that Doc Rivers is going to ESPN?
What?
He might actually take one of their guys' spots. I think.
Nah.
What was it, Van Gundy? One of the Van Gundys, he's taking one of their spots.
Wow, that's crazy.
But overall with this game, it was fun. A lot of stuff need to be fixing, but it's obvious with these young guys. But hey, can I forget his name? TERQUAVION Smith. Can he do it again? Yeah.
Yeah, TERQUAVION Smith was nice, man. He was the story. What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, I heard Doc Rivers is going to be the College World Series play-by-play guy on ESPN. What was the question again, Chris? I just had to give one more Doc Rivers shot.
Game 1 of Summer League, and Tiago's got daggers for Doc Rivers. I love it.
Yeah.
Just plugs. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, Summer League Game 1. I'm excited for watch this team, man. I mean, I dig the athleticism. I am excited to see how some of these guys will develop, and in particular, Smith. I just watching this kid remind a little bit quickly, a little bit of Bones Highland, a mix of both players. I'm really excited to watch this kid play. I was very impressed.
Yep. All right. That wraps it up, guys. Guys, if you're watching us live, thank you for all the comments. Smash that like button wherever you're watching. We will be back Wednesday night to break down the next Summer League basketball game. And he is Tiago at Tiago PHL. That is Mitch of Hardcore Sports Network at Mitch Kofsky. I'm Dives, Mr. Crackpot for Tiago, for Mitch, for myself. Stay awesome.